Hi, welcome to this week's edition of On Tap, presented by FCSI The Americas. I'm Wade Kaler, Executive Director. And on tap this week, I have the pleasure of welcoming a member of FCSI's Conference Planning Committee, amongst other committees that she served on, and an accomplished food service consultant. She's a music playing, snowboarding, rock climbing member from Colorado. Please welcome Executive Principal of Ricca Design, Ms. Tarah Schroeder. Tarah, welcome to the show.
Hi, Wade. Great to see you, and thank you for the opportunity to be on this.
Well, thank you for joining me. It's actually great to see you as well. Being on conference planning, we were supposed to see each other for quite a long time in Austin last year, but obviously that didn't work out for us. But we'll have other events coming up, hopefully in 2021 and 2022. I guess at this point, it's a matter of waiting and seeing. So the whole series of On Tap has kind of been to get to know our members a little bit better. What I learned in the beginning was of COVID last year was not everybody really knew each other or especially saw each other, and Zoom kind of changed the whole way we knew each other as an association. So this way we're kind of getting a chance to everybody to be in front of the camera and also a little bit of professional, a little bit of personal life. So I promise to be gentle today, and I hope we'll have some fun. To get started though, just tell me a little bit about your background. How did you get your start and beginning in food service consulting?
Sure. Well, it definitely was not a linear path to get here. So some of us have, I think it's not really a surprise that I ended up in the industry just because food and restaurants have just always been something I've loved. And, most of my memories as a kid revolve around that. I went to school at USC, and my dad taught dentistry there. I think everyone in my family was hoping I'd turn out to be a dentist. But lo and behold, I ended up in the food service industry. I kind of what got me in there, like anyone else, I did waitressing, worked at coffee houses, ran ice cream store, but it was really Whole Foods Market that kind of got me into the industry, and just kind of leading a few departments for them, running their green mission program for the Rocky Mountain region, and then just kind of being involved with opening new stores. When I worked for them was when they were really starting to take off. Mm-hmm. And so that kind of opened my eyes a little bit to what other opportunities were there. And then worked at actually BSI Kevery for a little bit too, kind of, on that side doing customer service. And that's what kind of introduced me to Ricca. And I've just been lucky. I've been at Ricca now for 13 years. So just had some really world-class mentors and, designers, champions that really kind of supported my growth to go from being entry-level project manager to what I am now.
Well, that's fantastic. Linear path there, I think. It just naturally went right up to where you're at now. I think that's a perfect way. Ricca does a lot of different projects. Obviously, you've got your hands in everything, but is there anything that you personally work on as far as segments of the industry? Do you focus on 2 or 3, or do you kind of have your hands into everything that they do?
So it kind of our philosophy here is really to have every principal work in all different market segments. So I've been lucky enough to be able to work in all of those, and it's, it's fun just because, there's different high profile projects that we can work on. There's maybe ones, at least for me, kind of my passion is very much in sustainability. So being able to work on ones that have a focus on that. There's definitely a few projects, when we have the opportunity for it to come up where maybe there's a project that we do pro bono, and I've had a chance to work on 2 of those. And those have probably been, at least for me, like the most notable ones, because it's something that's really connected to the community.
What are some of those, like in particular, you've worked on?
So the 2 that I'm thinking of, so one of them is called Children's Rescue Mission. It's a project in Honduras that I worked on many years ago. And so really the goal was for the community, for it to be a place where school children could come and get free meals, but then it also had a teaching kitchen. So the parents could come and learn different skill sets to be able to work in hospitality. Mm-hmm. So that was a kind of a crazy one to work on too, because all the equipment was donated as well.
Oh, wow.
But it was a lot of fun, and it was very successful. And one of the things that they said too is, we don't know if the power is going to be consistent. Our power isn't consistent. It might just turn off randomly. So that definitely made for some interesting conversations about design too. The other one is Project Angel Heart, which is here in Denver. and they deliver meals to terminally ill patients. And so we were able to design the commissary for that. And it's great that it's nearby, and it's something that our team, that I have been able to continue volunteering. Unfortunately, with COVID, they're not accepting outside volunteers right now, which I understand, but it's just a really great organization to be part of.
That's fantastic. Well, two great programs too, and you're right with some of with Honduras especially. The power thing is interesting. I've done an event in the Dominican Republic where you never knew when the power would roll through, and so you could be in the middle of an event and the entire ballroom would go black. So it's very much more challenging at times when we take for granted sometimes what we have here in the U.S. But it's great to know that at least they plan for it, and you can spec the equipment for it that can handle that.
That's right. No, that's absolutely right.
You talked a little bit about mentors. Tell me who's been your most influential person in your professional life?
Definitely. Well, it's hard because there's been a lot. I think that, I don't know if I can't. I'm probably gonna have to mention all of them. Or there's gonna be conversations I'm gonna have to have after this. I think the great thing too, man, I can't just give you a straight answer on this. The thing is that there's people outside of Ricca too that have. I mean, that's the great thing about this industry, right? Is the connections we make with everyone. So even people who are, with manufacturers or clients that I've worked with, or even other consultants in the industry. There's so many people that I could identify as a mentor, but within Ricca, just directly related to my career, I'd say that, Lenny Condenzio, Kathleen Seeley, and Tom Ricca definitely have been the most influential. I definitely learned a lot from Kathleen, and she kind of took me under her wing. And it's so important, when you're coming up in the industry, to really have a champion, like somebody who's not just going to mentor you, but somebody who's going to say, hey, there's this new project, why don't you take the lead on it? And she really offered me a lot of those opportunities to be able to do that.
That's great. And what a name to have there as well, with Kathleen Seeley, whose history with FCSI, being the first president of the society on a global basis, and council fellow member, and everything else. Those are, not that Tom's not either, because Tom is a legend in this industry as well. And Lenny's no slouch himself. He just hasn't been in there as long as they have yet. But those are three great names, obviously, to have. If you're going to have a few mentors, those are good ones to have behind you. That's for sure. What is something that, when people meet Tarah, would never envision you to be, whether it's a hobby or a habit? What's a secret or something about Tarah that people would be shocked to find out that you do or like or love, or something like that?
Really hard way. I feel like I'm such an open book. I mean, you might have, I feel like I talk about my kids all the time, so everyone knows that I have kids. I feel like, maybe the things would be the things that you mentioned at the top, the playing music, the rock climbing, and snowboarding.
Nice.
I don't know. That's a tough one to answer. I guess like everyone else, sometimes I binge watch Netflix.
Yeah.
That might be something that people might not expect.
Well, I know from knowing you for a few years now, I know that you traveled quite a bit for Ricca over the last few years. With COVID that's happened over the last year, tell me, how has your life changed not having as much travel? And I guess kind of even going back to the music and stuff, is there anything maybe new that you've learned or learned about yourself by not having that travel anymore?
Yeah, new that I've learned. I guess it's, for me, it was just being outside a lot, especially during the summer. So just trying to take advantage of that. So I never had paddleboarded before. Oh, nice. And I learned that, became quite an avid paddleboarder by the end of the summer. I think that it's been, I think if anything, it made me aware of how much time I was traveling, but it's pretty amazing how quickly that time can get filled.
Yes.
I think when I was looking to the future, thinking like, oh, I might not be traveling for a couple of months, I was like, okay, what are all the projects that I want to do around the house? What are all the new skills I want to learn? And then lo and behold, all of that time got completely filled up, and here we are in November. So I think there was a lot of things that I had on that list, Wade, but I have not. And music was one of them. Like, oh, that's great. I'll get back into piano and guitar. And none of that's happened, unfortunately.
Well, I'll peel back the curtain for you, and that is my master bathroom in my house is still taped off to paint, and I did that 8 months ago. And that was one of the first things when COVID first kicked in that I was like, oh, I'm gonna do some things like this, and it's still taped, but it's never been touched still. So there's guilty of.
Well, thank you. That makes me feel
all of us are guilty.
Better.
That's right. All of us are guilty of it. What is a piece of advice you'd give to somebody, a younger person or somebody coming, looking to make a career change that maybe is interested in becoming a food service consultant?
Sure. It's, it's great. I've been involved in a lot of the hiring that we've had over the past couple of years. And so it's a question that kind of comes up a lot just as we're bringing in new team members who who maybe aren't directly in the industry. And so, they kind of want to know. And I think it's really just comes down to like, be interested, have a learner's mind. There's so much to learn about the industry just from, different projects or trends or equipment or concepts. You always kind of have to be gathering as much information as you can to really be able to have great conversations with your clients. Yeah. And then I think it's important too to listen and to have fun. Everything that we do as consultants is in teams. Like we work with teams, both with our staff, but then also on projects. You work with all different kinds of people. So it's really important to be a good listener. Yeah. And I think for any advice for any job that anyone is doing is have fun, right? Yeah. Like we spend so much time at work. You really should choose something that you're interested in, passionate about, and remember to have a good time.
Oh, very, very, very well put. Well, that's all the formal questions I've got for you, but I do like to end these interviews with some kind of fun lightheartedness, if you will. So, I've got a set of questions based on the Would You Rather series. And so I'm going to run these down if you're game to play. And that is to kind of look into the mindset of Tarah.
Sure. Let's do it.
All right. Would you rather be covered in snakes or be covered in bees?
Bees.
Would you rather be able to sing or be able to dance?
Sing, for sure.
Would you rather own a restaurant or own a dollar store?
It's going to be so much insight. Oh my gosh. Own a dollar store. we know too much, Wade.
Exactly. Would you rather give up TV for a year or give up the internet for a year?
Oh, give up TV. That's easy.
Would you rather be able to teleport anywhere or be able to read minds?
Oh, that's tricky. Probably teleport. Traveling's too much fun.
Okay. Would you rather have all the traffic lights you approach turn green or never have to stand in line again?
Never have to stand in line again.
Would you rather see your future or fix your past?
Oh boy. See my future.
That's a deep one, isn't it?
That is. It's hard to go from traffic lights to something so reflective.
Well, I got a few more lighthearted ones for you. I won't end you on that.
Okay.
Would you rather have unlimited first class plane tickets or never have to pay for food at restaurants?
Oh, never have to pay for food at restaurants.
Would you rather only be able to use a fork and no spoon or use a spoon and no fork for the rest of your life?
Spoon.
Okay. Would you rather be an unknown superhero or a famous villain?
Unknown superhero.
Double dipping when it comes to food, yes or no?
Depend how many people are watching. No, no,
Good
double
question.
dipping.
I'll remember that the next time we're at a conference planning meeting. Watch Tarah.
Right. Terry, you have your own snacks off here to the side.
No, that hummus is for you. And the last one, would you rather fight a duck the size of a horse or 100 horses the size of ducks?
100 horses the size of ducks.
Perfect.
Who came up with that one? Was that something that Eric was helping me out with?
It's kind of a team atmosphere here, but Matt from Eric's team definitely threw that last one at us for.
That's really creative. I'm impressed.
Cake or pie?
Cake.
Toilet paper over the roll or under the roll?
Under.
Okay. And then last but not least, what's the first thing that comes to mind when I say FCSI?
Oh, maybe I'm pandering, but really a great organization with a lot of great people.
I don't think that's pandering at all. I think it sounds perfect. Well, Tarah, thank you for joining me today. Tell me, how can people get a hold of you and find more about you and Ricca?
So the best thing to do would be to go to our website, ricca.com, and you can see kind of a little bit more about projects we've worked on, who we are, and be able to reach out if there's any questions.
Perfect. Well, Tarah, again, thank you so much. It was great seeing and talking to you today, and appreciate you joining me.
You too. Thank you, Wade.
Well, that wraps up this edition of On Tap, presented by FCSI of the Americas. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor, like, subscribe, and share the show. Check back next week when we interview another FCSI member consultant. But until then, cheers.